We are entering the age of the consensus. As facts are subsumed in feelings and empirical truth becomes inconvenient, irritant to progressive ideology, with nothing rational, reasonable or quantifiable to back up their ever more ludicrous claims, the woke left huddle together and form a mighty consensus. It doesn't matter if their divisive claims are debunked time and time again and that they lose argument after argument. What matters are their feelings and their moral superiority. So what if they are wrong, if they identify as being right? We saw this week when a lady called Marina decided against having a sensible debate with Jacob Rees-Mogg, choosing the drunk girl in a bar who knows her man is on the way out and wants to humiliate him in public one last time approach instead.
We're potentially sitting on trillions of cubic feet of gas underneath us. I'm not. There are very good geological studies showing this.
Do you believe your lies?
All you say when you disagree is that somebody is lying. But this isn't a proper political argument.
You've been proven.
No.
It was fine for Marina to be personal, rude and obnoxious because she identified as being virtuous, righteous and superior. The strange thing was, post the Mogg bashing, the wokists started applauding her for destroying Jacob during that interview. They formed a consensus which identified Marina as the victor in the clash. And this is the problem with the progressive left. They don't play by the rules. They smear, cancel, name-call and cry-bully, all in the knowledge that those on the other side of the argument won't sink to their level. They know that if we did abandon critical thinking and reasoned argument, there will be no reconciliation, just the mutually assured destruction that their anarchic pursuit of chaos so ravenously craves. This tactic is becoming ever more prevalent as the damage done by these hug-punching cry-bullies becomes ever more evident. We used to associate these tactics with the hard left, but now they are now ever more obvious in the Conservative in name-only party. Which brings me on to Andrew Bridgen. I have a great deal of sympathy for the victims of cancellation. Entire lives and livelihoods ripped apart as the baying woke mob gurn in delight, desperate for an apology so they can cheer and gurn all the more as their victim is dragged on to the scaffold. But the brutal bullying of Mr. Bridgen, unprecedented in its cruelty, didn't come from the other side of the house. It came from within his own party. And that should worry anyone with a conservative leaning.
The disgusting anti-Semitic, anti-vax conspiracy theories that have been promulgated online this morning are not only deeply offensive, but anti-scientific and have no place in this House or in our wider society.
Can I join with my right honourable friend in completely condemning those types of comments that we saw this morning in the strongest possible terms? Obviously, it is utterly unacceptable.
So what was his crime? He quoted a Jewish researcher asserting that vaccine harms were the greatest crime against humanity since the Holocaust. Quoting a Jewish researcher and daring to question the reasoning behind injecting babies with experimental gene therapies with many known side effects, including death, you would have thought he'd be applauded for using his inquiring mind to bring these serious concerns to light, whether you agree with them or not. But no, the heresy was complete, and a Conservative former Health Secretary played the classic progressive card and went straight for the allegation of racism and anti-Semitism, an absurd and baseless allegation aimed to cause as much reputational damage as possible. As I've said before, it's because Conservatives don't play the shutting down a debate by calling everyone a racist card that society remains passingly harmonious. So for them to behave in this way with such rigour should concern us all. Fortunately, progressives, by their nature, always overreach, and such was the case in this situation. The Health Secretary, or former Health Secretary, may have been protected by his parliamentary privilege when making these defamatory slurs in the House, but hubris got the better of him, and the ensuing tweet repeating the allegation does not receive the same protection. Watch this space. Whilst Hancock, like a good little comrade, cheers on the addition of vaccine misinformation and disinformation to the latest censorship bill snaking its way through Parliament and pushes for the UK to hand over sovereign decision-making and future pandemic planning to an Ethiopian communist at the World Health Organization, Andrew Bridgen was trying to save children. And for that, he's been kicked out of the party he has served for so long. A highly regarded and effective MP who has increased his majority at every election and made his constituency one of the most desirable to live in the country, among many other achievements. It is also interesting to note at this point that the regime and its unelected leader did in fact heed Mr. Bridgen's warnings and withdrew the gene therapies from being used on children in the end. A cynic might point out that this stopped the regime from getting rid of a crucial and potentially awkward control group as we begin to pick apart the truth from this delusional mass experimentation on mankind.
Oh no! I'm devastated.
One would hope that this will sit uncomfortably with some Conservatives, those who care about transparency and free speech, Conservatives who don't believe in bullying and cancelling people, Conservatives who believe in free and open debate, Conservatives who are conservative. Time will tell. It is my view that whether you agree with him or not, fearless and critical thinkers, so rare in this consensus parliament of ours, are crucial to the national debate. More so as we begin to wake up, rip off our face muzzles and face the chaos of shutting down society, education and the economy for years to protect us from a bug with a more than 99% survival rate.